Hey, what's up, everybody? So we have a real interesting podcast. We're talking about some controversial figures of Scumbag or Misunderstood. We're gonna talk about Boo doing his debut in Power Slap in Saudi Arabia, doing very good, and other stuff. So don't miss this episode.
1978とある田舎町で生まれて移り住んだ新宿で育ち、この町で起きたこれまでの俺たちのここまでの生い立ちはほんのまた序の口、試されたいちいち正してきた過ち、騙し合いやからしないはスニッチの始まり、放課後の登山所児童館にホームアローン、そんな時間はほったらかして向かったとある場所。
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the YAMATODAMASHI podcast. Today, we have got plenty of things to talk about. There are even some things that you can't talk about as well, right? So we're going to get into what you can talk about, some of the hot topics that are going on in the land of MMA. We're going to look at some of the stuff going on in Japan. We're going to look at some of the stuff going on with the UFC as well. But yeah, we're coming off quite a hot take episode. We did the episode about Tom Aspinall, which got quite an interesting reaction from social media. We seem to have found a lot of people that were either like really agreeing with you, and some people that were like totally against with what you were saying. So we really split, I think, a lot of people on that. But what was your thoughts on some of the comments we had?
Let's go through them.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, let me fire.
Trying to find them right now.
So one of the ones that I found quite interesting was from Daniel Alves 9577. He said, "What if your fighter says he could not see in both his eyes in a championship fight? Would you make him fight for another round?"
Well, that's a very irrelevant question because Aspinall didn't say he couldn't see in both eyes. He could only see in the right eye. And that's, the funny thing is he was claiming the right eye because that's the only eye he felt get the finger pushed on his eye. And after he saw the video of the other finger going in the left eye, that's when he started saying, and my left eye too. So I don't know how, but that seemed somehow that poke in the left eye didn't affect him like it did on the right eye. To a point where I'm sure, I'm almost positive that if Aspinall saw the video, he would have played up the left eye instead of the right eye. So to answer the guy's question is, that's a whole different story. If the guy can't see out of both eyes, and I'm gonna tell him to fight, it's like you can't fight blind. So that's kind of a dumb question, and that's a kind of a dumb insinuation, saying that almost like a real sarcastic insinuation, like, okay, if you got poked in both eyes and can't see out of both eyes, okay. If he got poked in both eyes, but he could still see out of one eye, I would let him take a break, and then see if he can, possibly see out of the other eye a little better, and see if it's going to affect his, his sight to an extent where it might actually, kind of interfere with his performance. So people are saying that I don't respect Aspinall, not because in the end he didn't fight. It's the whole way he went about it. When you get poked in the eye, you have time. You have time for you to see. You try to open your eye. You try to maybe wipe it, and then you try to see how much you can see, and you push it. He, as soon as he got poked in the eye, he already started saying, "I can't see. I can't see." Okay. Then after that, he had the eye covered with a cloth. Barely once or twice did he even take it off, but not even trying to open his eye. There's a reason why we never got a good glimpse of what the eye looked like, is because he had it covered the whole time. So I felt that he made no effort to continue the fight. I felt eye poke that on the right eye, the way the right eye was poked, where it wasn't inside, it was poked on the outside. The way that eye was poked, I didn't think it was something that he should have jumped to. It was more like it put him on the side of not fighting, instead of, I know, how can I fight? It's how can I not fight? Instead of saying, wait, I can't see. Wait, give me time. Wait, let me see. Oh shit, I still can't see. I still can't see. He just went straight up. I can't see. I mean,
I
but he could
suppose
see on the left side.
the people that are for Tom Aspinall in a situation will probably come and say, was that showing like how bad it was that immediately he was like, I can't see.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility,
Mhm.
but I just like I said, all I can give is my opinion and what I think, because I'm not Aspinall and I can never be 100% sure that my opinion is correct. But I just felt that it was just really weird how he went about everything, and I just personally, of course, I'm not the one who got poked, so I can't really be 100% on this, but I just didn't think the eye poke was enough to stop a fight, not a title fight. And if you're considered the baddest man on the planet,
I suppose it was different, right? Because often when we've seen eye pokes in MMA, there's usually a lot of frustration from fighters. The fighters really come across as frustrated that they really wanted to fight, and that didn't really show until when the hands were getting raised. You could see then he was like visibly frustrated, but in the moment he was just talking about his eye, I guess. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence. I think I'm still both sides. I could see either argument for it. I could see why people like yourself would think that he quit and totally took the way out of the fight. But then I can also see if it was genuinely like a really bad eye poke, I could see why he'd be hesitant competing. But I do think it all comes back to like there's a bit of a difference, right? He didn't show like a warrior spirit. I guess he didn't make people fans of him by not maybe protesting or not saying, "Can I have more time?" It was just kind of straight out like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's in what eyes you're looking at it, yeah. I
Mm,
mean, if you're looking at the Warriors' point of view, then yeah, I lost respect for him, and that's my way of looking at it.
mhm,
And if you're looking at a sportsman's point of view, he did the right thing. So, because if he, as a sportsman, if he got poked and if it even infringed on his vision even 1%, he's not 100% anymore. Okay. So for him not wanting to continue the fight, I can understand that. I mean, to say that I can't see, I don't know, but to say that my vision's blurry or I'm not 100% anymore, 100% I can respect that. If you want to fight 100% because of the sport, a victory is very important. And you don't want to, someone as dangerous as gone. Someone as dangerous as gone. You want to be 100%. In fact, you want to be 110%. So if this is going to bring you back down to 90% or 99% or whatever it is, it's not 100%, then I can see you not wanting to fight. But I think the way he went about it
mhm,
by exaggerating the situation, and I do feel he exaggerated the situation and continues to exaggerate the situation even in the doctor's office and after. So he claims a week later he still can't see. And the eye that he had no problems with, he's claiming now the left eye is blurry or whatever, is swollen or everything. But I mean, when he gave an update of his eyes in the doctor's office, there was absolutely no swelling whatsoever. The eyes weren't even that red, which I
mhm.
thought was really weird for a severe eye poke that might blind him. Well, made him pull out of the heavyweight title fight and is making him blind. I mean, I've seen guys get stabbed in the eye where they couldn't see.
Mm.
And I've seen how instantly the swelling came about. I saw Nakai's eye when he got his eye, stabbed by Gordo. Jiri got poked in the eye, but I saw the swelling in that one too. But he continued to fight. It just it's might one of these just one of those rare things that it just so happened didn't swell. So happened it wasn't like that. It could be that. I mean, like I said in the last podcast, that I stand corrected if I'm wrong. But my personal opinion and with the information that I have now, I think he took the easy way out, which is something that I cannot respect in a fighter.
Yep.
And the way he did it, dude, the way he did it was just so exaggerated. That's what I felt.
Um, we've got quite a lot of topics to cover, so I don't know if you want to go into like all the comments, but I mean, there's a few people obviously that weren't familiar with who you are as well. that was evident with some of the comments.
Yeah, here's one that said that something about your only notable win is Randy Couture, but your record is 12-8, and Randy is the only one that's not a tomato can.
Which screams like someone that never watched MMA before.
So what I got to say about that is, so he's calling Nogueira, his hearing, Mark Kerr, all tomato cans.
Yeah.
So that just totally destroys his credibility. The second thing he says is about, if you know what, so this guy's kind of screwed up because there's no period, so I can't even see where the sentence is. So grammatically, this guy needs to go back to school. Okay, if you watch the slow motion, you could see how bad it was. You know what? Slow motion makes everything look worse than it is. If you get you look at power slap, you see a power slap. Watch a slow motion power slap. That looks 10 times more brutal. So him bringing out slow motion is a real sly way of trying to fight his case, which has nothing to do with how bad it was because how it looked in slow motion. And anyway,
yeah, I don't know. People are crazy. When I see someone talk about records, it's usually an indication that they don't know anything about the fighter, right? Because like if I was to say, let's talk about these two fighters that you've never heard of, you'd go, what's their record? Like it's the easiest like analysis. You see it, or when pundits all the time they talk about like, oh, he's a 10-8 guy, like, you know, do you know what I mean? Like people will call upon the record and use that as something when they don't know.
If someone asks about the record, it's okay, but the next question should be, who has he fought?
Yeah. And the thing is, it's not just who has he fought, it's also like at what period of that person was in their career. You know, you could who's an example? If you fought Anderson Silva in his prime versus if you fought Anderson Silva towards the end of the career, it's a very different Anderson Silva, right? And so when people don't go back and watch the fights and the order that it happened and they're not familiar with the history, then it's just like the opinion. It doesn't matter, which is the way I always think. You got to go and do your history of MMA. It's such a short sport. It's like so easy to watch as well, to go back and watch all this stuff that happened.
Who the fuck is that guy?
That's quality.
You know what's cool about that? I kind of really didn't need to even say anything because I got some of these other people that follow our podcast kind of, I don't know, chime in to kind of back me up on that.
Yeah. There's a lot of OG fans, a lot of people that have gone back and watched your career that totally were like, nah, that's the, you know, you're chatting shit. That's what we say.
Another crap take, channel blocked. So
yeah,
I said, thank you
made me laugh.
I said, thank you for blocking. Also, you know, I thought I should have said thank you for commenting. That helps our algorithm.
Yeah, right. It does.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the Aspinall
keyboard
stuff.
warriors, keyboard idiots. They bark from afar and hide when they're close. So
for some reason,
whatever.
like this whole, ever since the whole Tom Aspinall, John Jones things, like it brings out like the crazy fans. There are some people that are really obsessed either side. Like so, they joined. They came to the channel. Great. Let's get into this big weekend for your team. Power slap wise, Buchin made a huge impact all the way over in Saudi Arabia. Great performance. Is Buchin, is he back in Japan now?
Yeah, he's back in training. He came today to train.
Wow, fair play.
Yeah. And it's amazing because we got lucky because me and Sarah were not really that familiar about power slap. But we kind of watched some YouTube, you know, and we kind of figured, okay, what kind of stuff would he need to do? And it seemed like the training that we had him do was things that he needed to do. And the funny thing is, there was a boxer that I know that had a YouTube, and in the background of his YouTube, there was two Bobs, those the mannequins.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, that might be super good for him to practice slapping. Because that Bob mannequin is used for fighting for elbows and, you know, punches like that. So I figured, that might be good for the slap. So I actually asked the guy, and I said, can we borrow it? Because Boo's having a slap. So he sent it right away. So Boo's been practicing on that. The freaking crazy thing is when he went to the Power Step event, they had a training room and there was bobs all over the place. So that's exactly what they used to train, which I didn't know. And it was just by chance I saw it on the YouTube and I asked the guy that I could borrow one.
Nice. It's such a new sport, right? That it's like you've got to try
Yeah.
these things. Great performance by him though. Like the fact
Yep.
that he just ate that slap. When I saw it at the weigh-ins and I saw the guy who's facing, I was like, whoa, okay, like he's a pretty big dude. Let's see how this
Yeah.
is gonna go. You're worried because you sometimes you see the clips and there's like people with their faces caved in and all sorts, right?
Yeah, they just like out cold in the first slap. So I was worried.
Dangerous.
Me and Tara, honestly, were worried.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like not. We didn't think he was gonna win by knockout, but we thought he possibly might knocked out, and we're just hoping that he didn't get very badly hurt.
Hmm.
But whew, and you know the good thing about him too is he has a character. You know, he has that
Yeah.
funny character where he jumps around,
Just
screams,
down.
he gets all happy. You know, so it was really good because character alone wouldn't have helped him become popular in a power slap, but with that knockout win to show that he actually can slap and his character, I mean, I've been following the power slap, the UFC Japan pages like that. He's been pretty one of the prominent people that they've been posting about.
Yeah, there was a really funny comment I saw in Japanese on Twitter, which was it was a Japanese person saying Buchin got the first he got a win in the UFC before Kai. Like,
I saw that too, man.
yeah,
I was like, oh shit. He was kind of like we mentioned that to him, and he was kind of like, oh shit, no, don't say that, don't say that.
that's funny. Funny. Um and yeah, he beat his biggest opponent, the gum shield, the mouth guard. I didn't see any of him retching.
Apparently, it was a thing there, so
Oh, it
I'm
was.
wondering why Power Slap isn't showing it, or are they gonna wait for the right time, or they're gonna wait for like when they make a combination of interesting things that happen? Because I know Power Slap 16, they had like or 14 was I think it was a behind the scenes of Power Slap.
Right.
So because apparently they were on him on that, they kept filming him on that.
I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see.
And is he getting invited back for another one?
He hasn't been officially invited, but one of the officials actually told him that he'll probably be on the main card next time.
Nice.
And they're saying that there's a good percentage, a good chance that he'll be invited to Las Vegas in January.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
I'm so
Awesome.
bummed I can't be able to go, man.
I
Fuck.
know, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be difficult. Well, it's not difficult. It's impossible. You
But
can't
maybe
travel. You can't
we'll
go
send
abroad.
Sarah to check it out and help him out.
Awesome. Yeah. Be good to get some of the team members there. Another news instance from the team, which just happened. Breaking news. There was the RIZIN New Year's Eve press conference, and they announced some great fights, really cool fights. I'm really
Yeah,
excited to
yeah.
see. We've got Shaduliev versus Mikulu for the title, which is the big main event. They got Izawa versus Reina. He announced Danny Sabatello versus Naoki Inoue, a fight that we said that we'd like to see in a previous podcast. So lots of good fights. And then at the end of the press conference, when everyone had left, suddenly Breaking Down member and Team Yamatodamashi fighter Mecha storms the stage, calling out Ashizawa. What's the story there?
Mhm. I don't know. I didn't even hear him doing that. Definitely not a good move. Definitely a very stupid thing to do. And it's actually prompted. He's coming to training tomorrow. We're having a serious talk with him tomorrow.
Really?
There's
Wow.
fun. It's funny because we've had a lot of things that has been adding up. Like during the event, the last event press conference, the breaking down on where there was two teams from Chiba, one Chiba and one from Nagoya was going to have an event. He had nothing to do with it. He went in the middle of that and started kicking chairs at those guys and starting a like havoc, which to me isn't Yamato Damashi. To me isn't the way a man works. He also, he and that I gotta talk to him about. He also he's apparently going to be fighting in the next breaking down in December 14th. His toe is still not healed. He can't really train properly. And he's going to fight a guy that is a very good MMA fighter that uses his judo very well, and Mecca does not have ground yet. So that's something that he made a choice. I mean, he's been making these decisions. He's been doing things without confirming with me, and it's been okay because he's his own man, you know. But after this RIZIN incident, I mean, now I've got to call Sakakibara. I've already talked to the matchmaker Shingo and offer my apologies and promise him it'll never happen again. You know, it's like he's he's not a lone wolf. He's representing the team. He's got to act properly, and if he's going to do things in that to make do things like that, he's got to get a confirmation or at least get my opinion on what I think about it. So yeah, he definitely is going to be talked to tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess he was trying to shoot his shot, right? He thought, you know, it's a way of gaining
Yeah,
interest.
but
in the
he's
fight.
doing it. He's doing it very unmannerly, breaking down style, which doesn't work for big official events like RIZIN.
Yeah, it did almost look a little bit awkward the way he kind of looked.
Yeah, it looked real dumb. It looked real dumb. To me, I thought it looked real dumb, real uncool.
Yeah,
He made him look real stupid.
Could have made a bigger impact beating the guy, breaking down that he's going to face and then going on. But like you say, and plus there's a ballsy move, right? To think he's totally looking past his opponent then in December to think that he can face Ashizawa on New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah, that too. And you know the thing is he's calling out Ashizawa because after his breaking down event, he called him out, and the guy Ashizawa just paid no attention to him. He haven't
really?
made a reaction. He hasn't said anything. So I think he's trying to force it now, which is not the right way to do it, man.
Yeah, don't look desperate.
Yeah, very desperate.
So I mean that happened. There was also the RIZIN Landmark card in Kobe this past weekend. Any people on the card that stood out to you? Any performances that you thought were really good?
The last fight, Hagiwara and Akimoto, man, that was great. That was a good fight.
It was a good fight. I hated the finish though. I felt like they should have gave Hagiwara a little bit more leeway. I felt like it was stopped a little bit early.
I thought they stopped it too fast too.
Yeah, definitely. I could see it with other fighters why you might stop that, but Hagiwara is, he's got a good chin, he's durable, and he fights hard. So
and the fact he damaged Akimoto quite a bit,
right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was a little bit gutted, especially because of how good the fight was. It felt premature to stop the fight.
The other one was Taka Genji. I thought he looked really good. Yoshi's brother.
Yeah,
his striking looked very good, and I liked his aggression on the ground.
Looked like he lost a lot of weight as well. Actually, looked way more in shape.
Oh, I don't know. I thought he looked kind of sloppy. I thought he was actually in better shape than that.
Oh, really? I thought he looked a bit trimmer than. Because sometimes,
his opponent is not a real RIZIN fighter. His opponent should have never been in RIZIN.
No, I was gonna say.
Yeah, he's a total breaking down fighter. Like not even breaking down level.
Yeah. And now he wants to fight Cena, and then Sidario wants to fight Cena as well, right?
Well, I think Cena wants to fight both of them. Yeah.
Right. That'll be interesting. Do you think RIZIN will entertain that?
Yes, definitely will entertain it. But I think it would be interesting to see them fighting kickboxing rules.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because in Cena's last fight, it's obvious he's not working the takedown defense.
No.
And if he gets taken down by Stadio or the brother, it's not going to end good for him, let me tell you.
No. Yeah. But yeah, didn't Cena, he had like a drug test, I think, not go his way recently, right? Well, like something from Glory.
Oh, did he failed a drug test or something, yeah?
I think something came out of one of his recent Glory fights, so.
Oh, that's right. I heard about that.
You know who I was really impressed with? Taisei Sakuraba. I thought he looked unreal in terms of this guy's so exciting to watch. Like his style is awesome, and he totally feels
Like his dad.
yeah, but it's different. It's like his dad, but it's
It's
different.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different style, but he's I can tell he's like his dad in the sense where he's real adaptable to things.
Mm. It was the his walkout music was kind of like it set the scene, right? He comes out to a bit of Sakuraba's old walkout music, and then it flipped to whatever song he wanted, and that was basically like his performance, right? He's got like his bag of tricks from his dad. Obviously finished with a knee bar. But yeah, his this fighting style was super exciting, and I can't wait to see like who they match him up against. That's gonna be
Yeah, he's
really
actually
awesome.
coming to be a real exciting fighter to
Yeah,
watch.
yeah, yeah. And he's had an interesting career, right? Because he knocked out Yachi in his debut in like a minute. Nobody saw that coming. And then he lost by submission to Daisuke Nakamura. So it was kind of like, whoa, okay. Maybe he needs to take a step back. And then he gets this win. And the thing is as well, what's his opponent's name? Usami. Usami's like a really good kickboxer.
Yeah,
I
powerful,
remember him.
dangerous guy.
He knocked out Bainoa. It was crazy knockout. So yeah, can't wait to see who Taisei fights next. That was the one that stood out to me. Um, but yeah, RIZIN, exciting. Looking forward to the New Year's Eve show. That should be interesting.
Yeah, yeah, should be.
Uh, but yeah, it's also been a weekend of this betting scandal as well. Within, there was that fight on the UFC card where all that money came in for one person and suddenly, changed, and now the FBI is involved. What's your take on some of these guys being talked about? They've been approached to potentially take a dive in a fight.
Well, I'm very taking it a grain of salt with the guys who come out now and start to say they were approached.
Mhm.
But as far as the other guy, it seems like the betting numbers, the movement of the betting was so unusual that they're actually making an investigation. So in that sense, I'm really skeptical about that guy if he promised something or he revealed like insider trading or he gave some info that he shouldn't be giving out. As far as him throwing the fight, shit, man, I watched the fight, man. It because I know the big betting odds were about the lowest odds were about him getting choked out in the first round, which happened, and I know because of that, the likelihood of that happening, comparing the two fighters, was very low, and for it to happen exactly as that, of course you can doubt it, but damn, I watched the fight and I I didn't see where he purposely let the choke get in, or it seemed like he was really honestly trying to defend it. And if I just saw the fight and didn't hear about the movement of the odds and everything, I would
Yeah.
disagree that he threw the fight. But you know,
It's hard. It's hard to tell when you look back at some of the fights that have been known to be a fixed fight. Some of them are harder to tell than others. Obviously, the most obvious one that I think of is Mark Coleman, but that was me and Takada when he did the
that was
classic, the tap
that was
like that.
pro wrestling in the MMA ring.
Yeah, that was so obvious, that one, that it was like. Whereas, like you said, this one was very hard to actually tell.
I almost feel like if this one was a fix, the opponent was in on it.
Ooh,
Without the opponent being in on it, the way it moved, for him to be fighting, trying to make the fight go into where the lowest odds were him getting choked out in the first round. I mean, the way he defended in the beginning, it wouldn't be surprising if the opponent just left the back to take the mount to try and ground and pound. The fact that the opponent kept trying to choke and kept trying to choke, uh, I don't know. I mean, I say he took a real big chance on losing that chance of getting choked out by defending it so well and actually pretty much almost spinning out of the body triangle.
well, I've seen Ariel and a lot of other people say that this is like just scratching the surface, and there's a lot more people involved when it comes to like coaches and referees potentially being involved in this. But then I also
Yeah,
saw Dana
Jason
White.
Herzog was mentioned. Yeah,
Yeah, Jason Herzog was mentioned. But then I also saw like the counter argument where Dana White saying, you know, well, I saw when Dana weighed in on it, I actually felt like he had quite a good point. He's like, all these old fighters are coming out saying that they were approached. Why didn't you say anything at the time? Like, because and it's a fair criticism, right? Like, because you don't want that happening in the sport. So if you were dead against it, why didn't you say something at the time? But
what's funny is there was one fighter that said I was approached 7 times and he has 7 losses.
Nice,
And the other ones the other fighters talked about is I was approached and it so happened that I just lost anyway. Like, oh really? Did you just lose or did you actually take the bet but now you're claiming you didn't,
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is something that the MMA media is kind of blowing up in proportion because it's big headlines, it's getting a lot of clicks, or do you think there is some sort of problem when people are getting approached to take dives?
There's got to be people getting approached. And then you got guys, the guys that wrote that they were getting approached. The 2 or 3 guys that said that, they all they deleted their posts.
Yeah, they retracted.
And they're saying that they were joking about it.
Well, you're gonna get in the shit with the FBI. It's like it's a different thing, right? So you look at what happened with James Krause, right, a couple of years ago. That's still ongoing. Like, huge
Was
deal.
that a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it was like 3-4 years ago.
Holy crap! I felt like it was just last year or something.
No, it's ages ago.
Holy
So
crap!
it's not a
Yeah, and
good
it's
place
still
to
going
be.
on. There's still going to be charges being filed.
Mm,
The FBI are the type of people who do a thorough job, man. And when they
yeah,
get you, they're going to slam you, man.
yeah. Yeah, it doesn't hurt when the director of the FBI is like ringside at a UFC events as well, right? So
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what plays out. I don't think anything
Yeah.
will happen to the UFC though. I don't see. There's some people speculating, oh, could this be the year? I don't see that at all. Like, this happens in major sports all the time. It's just something that you just got to keep track of and try and monitor, I guess. So
It's got to help. I think I have no official facts or information on anything like this, but it's got to happen in fighting too. It's got to.
yeah.
Any sport that you bet on, there's got to be offers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And you think like some of the, especially the undercard fights for the UFC, and there's so many different bookies that are involved with MMA betting. So wild weekend. I mean, we're coming up to the end of the year now, and we're soon going to be talking like who the fighter of the year was, knockout of the year, all that sort of fun stuff. One thing what was quite interesting is obviously Merab is going for the sort of 4 title defenses this year, which is going to be,
Crazy,
he pretty
man.
much cements himself as fighter of the year if he gets that. There was something recently about him talking about fighting teammates, fighting Sterling, and then there was something with Aspinall as well, saying he didn't want to fight teammates. Where do you weigh in when it comes to fighting teammates?
I feel that for me, my loyalty is to my teammates because my team is my family. So my loyalty would be towards my family. So there is no way I would fight a teammate. So I agree. I agree when people won't fight their teammates. I agree 100%. I mean, I know Dana doesn't agree with that. Dana gets pissed off about that, but you know, Dana has to understand that some people will see it as not a sport, but a real fight. And how can you try to hurt someone that is in the gym with you, helping you get better and helping you prepare for your fights? I mean, how can you? It's a real disloyal thing to do. I think is to train with each other and then eventually try to, of course you're human. You're going to see the weaknesses in the training, and you're going to want to exploit that in the fight. I mean, that's the way it has to be. But when you're training in the gym is like a home. It's a family, and you shouldn't be worried about things that you help or show in the gym might be used against you. If that's the case, then it kills the whole energy in the gym.
Mhm.
And I believe that gyms teams should be like family. And if not, then it's different, And if you're gonna fight someone someday, it can't be family. You can't be 100% open to them.
Yeah, the one I always remember was it Rashad and John Jones that both used to train at Greg Jackson's, and eventually it kind of they had to split in separate ways, right? That was
Well,
the one
if
that
we're training partners, I think it's okay to fight if they've already split apart and they're not training in
yeah.
the same gym
Yeah,
anymore. But it's like Sterling and Marab are in the same gym, still training together at Syndicate. So I agree. I mean, I actually would be actually look down on them more if they fought each other. Like, wow, that's super disappointing. Wow, how can they do that to each other? You know, I feel that way.
yeah. Yeah, I think Sterling, did he move up to 145 as well? So I think he's kind of shouldn't be too much of an issue.
He kind of avoided that problem by moving up in weight class. Yeah.
Okay, let's do we talked about this last week, right? We said we were going to do our sort of scumbags or misunderstood list. We did. I put together a short list of a few people that I wanted to get your take on, whether you think they're a scumbag or maybe misunderstood. We had a few thanks to EE2372 who gave me a comment. He gave me some really good names actually, so I've stolen 2 of them to add to the list.
Okay. Let's do
So
it.
let's I'm gonna pick the biggest one one of the biggest names of the sport ever, if not the biggest. Conor McGregor, scumbag or misunderstood?
Scumbag. 100% scumbag. My
Would you
opinion.
like to elaborate why you think that?
Well, because of the crimes he's committing, you obviously can see that she's high on dope. You obviously know he's taking steroids, and he denies everything. He thinks the world revolves around him, which no, unfortunately sometimes the UFC does. But just uh, very unprofessional, very inconsiderate, very obnoxious, conceited, and with those things on a person's character, it all equals scumbag.
Yeah, see where you're coming from. With Conor, it's always difficult for me just because it's very hard to be a fan of him now. But when he was coming up, he's literally the reason why MMA is as big as it is over here. You know, without him, like over here, people would still just be talking about boxing, whereas it now has a huge presence. But his personal life is just out of control at this point. I picked quite a loaded one for this one. Phil Baroni.
Misunderstood, man. He
Okay.
has he has he has psychological problems.
Okay.
He's If you know Phil Baroni, he's a loyal. He is as loyal as you can find as a person. He's very soft-hearted, very warm, but has just this snap that happens in him. And yeah, I mean, I there's nothing else I can say but totally misunderstood, man. He's a super nice guy.
Is he still in jail in Mexico, right? Like he got
Yes, and definitely not in good shape. Definitely not in good shape.
yeah.
I spent 99 days in jail in Japan, and my muscles are deteriorating. I got so skinny that Sarah was worried, and I was doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats. I was eating all my food in jail, but the nutrition wise is bad, and I hear Mexico is even worse. So I really wonder how he's doing, man. But yeah, definitely misunderstood.
Okay. A name from the past, and this was one on his list. Joe's son.
Scumbag,
Yeah. Yeah.
total scumbag.
He was arrested, right? I mean, he spent time in
Yeah,
jail.
well, that kind of tells you he was convicted of rape, so
Yeah. Yeah.
he's a freaking scumbag.
Yeah, he was everyone. I always remember him because he was the guy that got punched in the balls in the UFC, right, repeatedly. And
I remember him from James Bond.
yeah, he played Obchop, right?
Yeah, but yeah, total scumbag, man. I mean, A rape conviction is all you need to know. It's scumbag. There's no one else. You can't be not a scumbag and have committed rape. So
Next on the list, Bjorn Rebney. If you remember, he was the Bellator promoter before Scott Coker.
no, I don't even know who that is.
He had quite a shady reputation for. He used to be a boxing promoter, and then he moved into Bellator. But he was the
Well,
guy
let me
that.
ask you, since I don't know who he is, scumbag or misunderstood.
Well, the big thing with him was he said he was going to do like a fighters union after he finished Bellator, and then it just didn't really. Nothing happened with it. I don't know whether there was any money exchanged in that or not. The jury's still out on that one. maybe misunderstood, maybe scumbag. It certainly had traits of a scumbag in the past, but perhaps maybe misunderstood now. I don't know.
Hey,
Maybe
wait,
other
we
people
go
can
back.
comment.
What about Conor McGregor? What's your take? Scumbag or misunderstood?
I gotta go scumbag, unfortunately.
Ah.
I hate to say it. Like, hey, maybe he can turn it around, but if you read the report of what happened with him and the lady that he went to court with
Yeah.
in Ireland, it's pretty clear what happened there.
And
So.
with the information that you have on Phil Baroni, scumbag or misunderstood? Not what I said. What your information is.
Did she was it domestic abuse or was she murdered? I can't remember. The
She was
girlfriend.
murdered.
She was murdered. Yeah, I gotta go scumbag.
Yeah.
It's difficult, right? I don't know him personally. You know him personally.
There's actually reports that he was framed by the cartel.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
possible. Right. So
Interesting.
yeah. It's difficult when
Okay.
it's different country as well. So
Yeah.
Joe Son, obviously scumbag.
Yeah.
Let's go with Ali Abdelaziz.
I say scumbag.
Okay.
And reason being is I never hear see this is all shit I hear, so I could be
Mhm.
totally wrong, but he controls a lot of his fighters' social media.
Mhm.
And being a good promoter, being a very good promoter, being a good manager is being a scumbag. So I
Okay.
believe he's a very good manager, but he has to do scumbag things, which makes him a scumbag.
I was about to say, you can't fault him for being a good manager, right? He's got like the top clients. He's
I've heard rumors also that he plays both sides too. Yeah.
I could see that.
So he'll talk up and tell the promotion stuff, and you know kind of pretend like he's only fighting for the fighter, but he's kissing up to the promoter. So I mean, I don't even know if those are actual facts or not, but of course, all I need to do is make my assessment on what I hear and what I think I believe, and I just come back. What about you?
I'd probably go scumbag as well, right?
Yeah,
He's got that shady past. You remember when McGregor talked about him being
yeah,
an
he
informant?
does. Yeah,
Mm.
McGregor.
Oof, that was a hot topic
Scumbag
at the
reveal
time.
of scumbag.
Mm. Um, what else we got? Okay, another promoter, Chatri Sityodtong.
Chatri. I don't know enough, but if I had to make a guess, I just think he's very um not not honest with the way he is. He plays a lot of stuff up. And if I had to pick one or the other, I would say scumbag more than misunderstood.
Yeah.
But that's a tough one. That's a tough one because, I know like people like Angela Lee, they really think a lot about him.
Okay.
I know Angela personally. A lot of people, there's a few people, select people that really, look up to him, and talk well about him. But those are also people that he really takes care of and are very important to his promotion. I've heard other stories about how fake he is. I've talked to someone in Thailand that was an ex board of directors, and he told me how a lot of the shit is staged and bullshit.
Mm.
So I mean, of course, like again, I just have to make a guess on what I think from what information I have. Some of the information might be false, some of the information might be true, but if I had to pick one or the other, I mean, I really not bothered. I'm not like strong on it. Like Joe Son is a scumbag, you know.
Yeah.
But if I had to make a pick, I think he's more on the scumbag side than the misunderstood. Very
Scumbag.
fake and very artificial.
It's probably it's probably the wrong term, right? Maybe con man, just because of some of the stuff that he's done with the social media numbers, and I mean, you could tell he's really passionate about what he does with one championship, and you can tell he really wants it to be a success. And there was times where it has been a big success, but some of the stories about fighters not getting out of contracts and stuff like that, I don't think it sits well. So I'd probably, like you, lean to
There's
the
a lot of that too. Yeah.
scumbag category on Chatri. A recent one in the news, Derek Moneyberg.
I think misunderstood.
Wow. Okay. I didn't expect that.
Well, the big reason being is one, Jake Shields gave him his black belt. I got the utmost respect for Jake Shields.
Okay.
And if Jake Shields decided to give him his black belt, I mean, there's rumor that he got paid a lot of money for it. You know, unfortunately, if that's the case, I would lose respect for Jake Shields. But I think for me, the biggest thing is Gordon Ryan vouched for him.
Okay.
He doesn't spar with other people, but he sparred with Gordon Ryan, and Gordon Ryan 100% guaranteed that he would beat the average black belt. So why shouldn't he get his black belt if he could beat the average black belt?
I'm gonna have to play devil's advocate on that because I'm probably on the other side of the category. Only because I tried to do quite a lot of research on this guy because I'd never really heard of him until the whole Sean Strickland thing happened. And then he did an interview with Ariel. I kind of went back and watched some of the stuff. And 4 years to become a black belt is, I mean, I don't, how many black belts you know that did it in 4 years, right? But then without competing in any competitions, it just seems very not earned to say you're a black belt in something, and there'd be no visual proof of that you are what you are, right?
Well, but take into consideration that he's been taking private lessons from the top fighters in the world.
Yeah.
And you know how much faster you advance by learning the tricks and the shortcuts to get better by guys like Gordon Ryan, Jake Shields, you know, instead of having to start off with a so-called average black belt teacher that's pretty much giving you just the basics and not giving you shortcuts. Um, 4 years is fast, but for someone who has a limited amount of money to pay for private lessons 5 or 6 days a week from Gordon Ryan or Jake Shields, I mean, I don't see that, and he doesn't need to be a black belt in competition. He can learn and remember all the moves and the different escapes and execute it against someone that's a black belt and become a black belt. I believe that. I mean, the hard part about jiu-jitsu is we always say the hardest belt is the blue belt because you're fighting guys that have different movements. You have a wrestler who's never really trained, but he gets his blue belt right away because he can pass guards because of his movement. So he never needed to go through that. He might have a hard time with a blue belt because he's not used to the unorthodox movements. But if he's rolling with a black belt every day, he's getting accustomed to all the jiu-jitsu movements. And I can see, with the tricks and the techniques that he can be taught, he can learn how to defend jiu-jitsu movements. He can learn how to do that right away because he doesn't need to learn the plus alpha. Oh, what if the wrestler does this weird movement? Because he's not going to get any weird movements from black belts.
Okay.
I just think that private lessons from the best in the world. I mean, if you got a guy that goes into a regular class and trains with a class that has another 10 students, that the attention is going to divide it into 10 people, and he goes every day, but he goes every day for a year, I think he could advance way faster in a month with private lessons from a black belt. Undivided attention from a famous, strong, Especially someone like Gordon Ryan, man. That guy knows more. He can teach black belts.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. It's
Now I'm gonna call him and ask him for that comment. Give me like a couple thousand, $100,000 something.
if we see Enson on the next podcast wearing the t-shirt, then we'll know something's awry. But
I'll be wearing the t-shirt on the next podcast.
yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. No. I probably put him in the scumbag category. To be honest, I still think I think he paid for it. I think he paid for everything. I don't know Jake, but yeah. I tell you what, this is a great one, and this one came from EE, the user that I mentioned that put it in the comments, and it's very good timing. Rafael Torre. Do you remember who that is? It's a name from way back when.
I heard of him. The bald-headed guy, yeah?
The bald-headed guy. So he's a guy that used to be an MMA journalist.
Yeah.
And he how do I say this? So there's so much to this guy's story. So he was an MMA journalist and claimed that he was a black belt. And then he went to Abu Dhabi and he got absolutely steamrolled in like less than a minute. And people suddenly realized he wasn't a black belt. He also apparently wasn't Brazilian. He told everyone he was Brazilian and his dad was Brazilian. Apparently that wasn't true either. He also had a lot of people claim it's a fixed fight in King of the Cage, where he said he had a rivalry with this guy. They had a fight. If you watch the fight, it looks super sus. He goes for a knee bar, the knee bar's barely in, and the guy's tapping, and they think that everyone was in on it. But what he's really famous for is he murdered someone. He claims that he didn't, right? But he's currently serving 20 years in jail.
Whoa.
I was just wondering, well, you must have probably seen him because I think he used to be in Mark Kerr's corner quite a lot. He used to hang around with a lot of fighters. And he used to come over to Pride quite a bit. So he's probably he might have even interviewed you for something. Be interested. I should have a look and see if there's anything going back. Maybe some of our viewers might remember.
His name does sound familiar, and I remember him being bald-headed, so I probably did see him around, but
Yeah, it's a crazy story.
I don't know
It's
him
funny.
well enough. I don't know his situations that happen. Or
Well,
to even make an assessment if he's misunderstood or a scumbag. I don't really know him.
I'll give a plug to the MMA History podcast. They actually just interviewed him from jail. So they're celebrating their 300 episode, and they did an episode with him while he's in the jail and recorded it over like several phone calls. They didn't go too deep on what happened, especially with the murder, because obviously you can't really talk about it. But it was pretty fascinating to hear his side of the story. But yeah, maybe if you're not too if you can't quite remember him, maybe you reserve judgment for now. But
what did you think? What do you think?
Scumbag. Like the story about the murder as well was really bad. It was I think it's Eddie Bravo that exposed it. Joe Rogan kind of talked about him as well in the past, and just doesn't sound like a good dude. But
wow.
Final one. This one's always going to get loads of comments. People will always chalk and cheese on this one. Dana White.
Misunderstood. I like Dana as he's personal friends with me. I see his stance. I see the fighter's stance also about not getting paid enough. But I see his stance also. I don't think it's a fair assessment for fighters to say, look at how much the promotion is making and the percentage they're getting paid. A lot of people do that. But the fighters made no sacrifice in the first 6 or 7 years when the UFC was draining all of the Lorenzo brothers station casino money. To keep the UFC afloat, they were draining the money from their station casinos to a point where they wanted to get rid of the UFC. The only reason why the UFC even had another life was because Dana begged the brothers to give him more time. Dana spent all this time. Apparently, if they're losing money and they got to borrow money from the casinos, Dana's not making any money. He's making a shitload now, but isn't that the sacrifice he made? You know, they're still paying fighters during that time. So if they want to figure out the percentage that UFC makes now and say that, you know, they're not paying enough. Well, what happened when the UFC was losing money, but they're still paying fighters? So if you're asking that because they make 100 million in the game, I mean in the whole thing, and they're only paying out the fighters like 3% of what they make. So what happens when they lost $8,000 on the event or $80,000 on the event, but they paid out money to the fighters? What percentage is that? That's a crazy percentage. The amount of money they're making minus 80,000, but they're paying the fighters. Even then, it was peanuts. I mean, I got like $7,500 for my UFC fight. So it's like they're paying me that much money when they're not making any money. You know, people want to skip through all the suffering and all the places they had to fight and scratch for, you know, to make it survive, and they want to look at just right now without looking at the history and what happened. That's the behavior of the fans nowadays, or the people nowadays. You know, they don't recognize guys like Mark Coleman. You know, they don't give him the credit of that he deserves. You know, so I think people just forget about what the people went through to make the sport what it is today, and um they only concentrate on what's happening now. Yeah, I like Dana. I think it's the reason why the UFC is as big as it is because of Dana, and I appreciate what he's done for UFC. And you know, honestly, I've never had I've been associating with Dana a lot. I just emailed him. I just messaged him on Instagram like 3 days ago, and he returned the answer. It was about Boo. You know, I thanked him for Boo. You know, so it's not like I have a no absolutely no relationship with Dana. I do have a relationship with Dana. I've seen him when I go to Vegas. I went and met him, went to his office, talked to him, brought Tsuyoshi, introduced Tsuyoshi to him. And I personally, over the since ooh, 2000, maybe about 2015 or so, I've had a personal relationship with Dana White, and I have never been screwed by him. I've never been lied to by him. So for me, people hate him. People think he's a crook, he's a cheater, he's a liar, and I see none of that. So I say misunderstood.
Cool.
What about you?
I actually agree with you, to be honest.
All right.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of his. I mean, I've watched his interviews for like 20 fucking years, right? And I still see the same Dana White. He's a guy that like will do anything for the UFC, and he's a guy that clearly has a lot of principles, especially with loyalty with some of it. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of drama along the way, and he's under the microscope more than most people. But when I hear how he talks about how he looks after his staff for his company, particularly in COVID, there's a good dude there, in my opinion. I think, yeah, there's always going to be, you're going to have issues. You might have things you don't agree with on him, but generally speaking, I think he's been amazing for the sport, and yeah, the UFC is his
I think
baby.
he has a lot of haters because he don't beat around the bush, man. He goes straight to the point. If he feels he wants to tell that reporter fuck you, he'll tell him fuck you.
Yeah, and he's the face of the UFC. So if you have any sort of issue with the UFC, where's it going? It's going to Dana White, right? And that's the challenge of being the front man. You know, you're always going to take the praise, but you're going to take the slack as well.
If you love the UFC needs Dana White.
I agree. Cool. We're going to wrap it up here as we're heading into an hour. But everybody, thanks again for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought of our list, where you think we stand. Obviously, everybody's going to have different opinions, but let us know. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
Yeah, all you trolls that comment on the thing, Please comment all you want. I don't lose a minute of sleep off your insults and some ridiculous accusations. So keep, commenting what you want, and keep barking from afar.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you again soon.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. If you have any other people you want me to make my assessment on, whether they're a scumbag or misunderstood, please put in the comments. Anything else you want us to talk about? If you disagree with my assessment of some of the people like Dana White, put in the comments. But anyway, thank you for watching.